Oh, this is interesting. I didn't realize that it entered the park and ride by going directly south through this intersection. I'm at the intersection right now of 73rd Street and Thunderbird Road in North Scottsdale. Just barely in Scottsdale. Everything on the other side of Scottsdale Road in this area is actually Phoenix. Even though I think Scottsdale mailing addresses go as far eastbound as Tatum Road. Or sorry, as far westbound. So yeah, we got 3 miles to the west of here that is actually City of Phoenix with Scottsdale mailing addresses. Which gives a lot of people the delusion that they're in Scottsdale when they're there, but they're not. So, I've never been through here in a bus. I've been through here in my car to pick up Lime scooters before. I've never come here in a bus. So it's pretty nice, sort of like a transit center. Although I'm not sure what buses service it. Oh, here we go, Route 154. Oh, here's an infographic. I are here. So local buses. Looks like we got the 72 and the 154. That sign doesn't indicate which express bus is here. Oh, that's right. 154. Hello. I just saw that says 154. I got the 72 North. Sorry, I see a 3-digit number and my brain just immediately is thinking express route, but that actually isn't an express route. So yeah, I guess the 3 bays are for 72 North, 72 South, and 154. And that's where the 154 camps before turning around and heading back the other way. Which, yeah, I'm all for that. I tend to get frustrated about buses that camp at bus stops where they're kind of obstructing traffic and kind of obstructing the use of that bus stop for other buses. And I've documented in this vlog many times how that's created some dangerous situations. But yeah, an actual bus facility like that where the bus camps out before heading back out on its route, that's excellent. Like that. You know, I would assume the driver's letting people on to get in the air conditioning if they're waiting for the bus, and even if she's not, before she leaves, you know, at least there's some nice shade, a nice comfortable place to wait. So this is a park and ride. I don't see any vehicles parked here at all. So that's kind of a fail. We even got some covered parking over there. So, yeah, it looks like this was built by Scottsdale in hopes that people that live in this North Scottsdale area would ditch their cars here and ride the bus into wherever they're going. But yeah, since the only routes that service it are the 154, which goes westbound, mostly along Greenway Parkway. I'm not sure where it terminates on the west end. I think it goes to like 59th Avenue or 67th Avenue, something like that. But yeah, you got a bus that goes across North Central Phoenix and into North Glendale that doesn't really connect to anything. As far as, I mean, there's other routes it crosses. I mean, you know, I'm sure it crosses the 7 and the 16. I know it crosses the 16, and I got it on at the 44, and definitely it crosses the 19 and the 27, and presumably also the 35, and probably some of the other north-south routes on the far west side of town. But as far as yeah, it doesn't, you know, there's no connectivity to the light rail, and yeah, I don't see a lot of people from North Scottsdale having much need to go any place in that direction, or wanting to go on a bus that travels as slowly as the 154 does. And to the south, you got the 72. That's a decent regional route, but nowadays it only runs every 30 minutes, That's one that used to run every 15 minutes. It was actually a pretty useful bus, as slow as it was. But now it's back to service off to every 30 minutes. It does have connectivity to light rail, but I've mentioned in this vlog before how that's kind of inconvenient connectivity because the Route 72 buses don't actually go into the little transit center there where the light rail station is. It just stops on Rural Road, and you've got to, which is what Scottsdale Road becomes when you leave Scottsdale and enter Tempe. Yeah, it just stops on Rural Road, and you've got to walk across the street and then into the light rail station and transfer to the rail. So I guess, yeah, you got to commute to, you can take it to Old Town Scottsdale, you can take it to Old Town, but to ASU in Central Tempe, and conceivably transfer to light rail to go into downtown Phoenix or downtown Mesa, or the airport. However, as you can see by the complete non-existence of cars in the park and ride, nobody's choosing to use it. And I think what might actually make that park and ride useful is if there were some express buses that went to and from it, but as you see, there isn't. So yeah, kind of a fail. That's kind of a pretty hefty taxpayer expense to make a transit facility that, as you can see, is very marginally used, and a whole lot of parking that apparently is not really used at all. Yeah, it's kind of a fail in my book, and like pretty much every other, even though that one's labeled as a park and ride as opposed to a transit center, it's laid out like a transit center, and like most every other transit center in Phoenix, it fails in that basically it's only serviced by two routes, one that just passes near it. At least it turns into it. I appreciate that. So at least, you don't have to walk over to Scottsdale Road to catch the Scottsdale Road bus. But yeah, you got a route that turns into it from an adjacent road, and then you've got a route that pretty much terminates at it the way you saw. Basically, we went down Greenway Parkway to 73rd Street, as opposed to going south on Scottsdale Road. 73rd Street, the very next street over to the east, and it just went south down 73rd. My last stop before the transit center was at 73rd Street in Redfield, but where I got off ended up being closer to where I'm going. So hey, I forgot to say that date and time. So it's 5:45 p.m. Friday, April 8th, 2022. I did call Elvis on the phone right after I wrapped up that last video. He seemed to be in not a very pleasant mood. Seemed kind of annoyed that I even called him. And was like, I'm leaving right at 6 o'clock. I'm trying to finish the work I gotta get done before then. Yeah, nice to hear from you too, asshole. I always kind of considered Elvis a friend. I figured he'd be a little more happy to hear my voice, since I haven't probably talked to him in over 6 months. So, guess I thought wrong. Anyway, I got 15 minutes to make it to the store, or he's leaving, regardless of the fact that I've been on a long, difficult bus journey, and I'm doing substantial walking to get to him. So yeah, that makes me feel really valued. So I did look up the store. I didn't check the address, but I used Google Maps just to find it and make the call to Elvis there. And they're located on Gray Drive, or maybe it's Gary Drive. I'm mildly dyslexic, and sometimes the words gray and the words gray and Gary get mixed up in my head. So I'm uncertain as to whether it was Gray Drive or Gary Drive. This is an interesting traffic light. I don't think I've ever gotten in my vlogs, or if I have, it's just been while I've been driving and flying right by it real quick. That intersection is between Redfield Road and an actual airport taxiway. I don't think I've ever been on this road and seen the light red for a plane to taxi across, but I think it's neat that it exists. Not quite sure what's going on here. This road was definitely not under construction the last time I went this way. All right, thank you, biker, for your noise pollution. Wow, looks like Redfield Road is completely closed and all through traffic is being diverted southbound. That's got to be good for my friend's business, I would imagine, as they're located on a street that, generally speaking, has zero through traffic. Which taking a shortcut through the parking lot, because that's what you do when you're a pedestrian. It's generally speaking, they're on a street that has zero through traffic. So anybody that actually shows up at that store it's a destination. It's something they've read about online, and they've heard about it from another person, and so they've gone, or they've purchased from them online, and we're like, oh, you guys have a physical store? Let me check it out. So they're actually coming to here, not just driving by and seeing a sign that says, oh, record store, let's check that out. So weird seeing all the through traffic of Redfield Road being piped through this way. So for those unfamiliar, in this part of North Scottsdale, Thunderbird Road, which continues to the west for many, many miles, it doesn't go all the way over the mountains in north central Phoenix. It actually ends, I want to say, at 20. I'm thinking 20th Street. I think it ends at 20th Street. Don't hold me to that. If you want to fact check me, check Google Maps, and feel free to comment exactly where it ends in the comment section. I might actually post that in the description at some point as well, just because I like to fact check things like that. But I'm pretty sure Thunderbird Road ends at 20th Street. Which is kind of a minor thoroughfare, and it's the last north-south thoroughfare after Cave Creek Road, which is a major thoroughfare. But from Scottsdale Road, where I got off the bus, Thunderbird Road, major east-west arterial strode all the way to Cave Creek Road, and then kind of a smaller thoroughfare going about a half mile west of that point. Anyway, on this end, as you see, it cuts across the taxiway like I was walking. Porsche. I don't know what that big antenna tower is. That's kind of neat. It goes, it kind of curves to the south. I'm sorry, curves to the north. My bad. Curves to the north to go through the airport and through this airport industrial park, which is what I'm in, and becomes Redfield, which is generally speaking the street that's always a quarter mile north of Thunderbird Road. Becomes Redfield, and then Redfield ends at Hayden. I honestly figured I'd be riding the bus to Redfield and Hayden. I'm surprised that there's not a bus on Hayden Road through here, because there used to be, I think. It's been a long time since I've had any real need to come up here. Actually, the last time I had need to come up to this part of town via bus was right when I first started riding the bus again after I blew my engine, when I was going to the, what the hell you call it, the Union Jack for karaoke, which was a very short-lived gig. But I'm talking like, a decade ago when I used to use transit. Didn't have much need to come up this way, but I do remember looking at the map, just because I like looking at maps, and if memory serves, there was a bus that did Hayden and McClintock, and it just seems like it came north on Hayden Road all the way here. All right, so there's a sign that says Vinyl Records. And the fact that the sign is still out kind of makes me think I made it here on time. 5:51. So, yeah, I made it. Vinyl Records. So There's all the traffic that normally goes through on Redfield being piped down onto the street, which I didn't get a chance to look if it was Gray or Gary. At least more people are seeing that little sign if they're looking, but it is a very little sign. The actual store is here in this industrial park here with a little teeny sign like that. And there it is. All right, I'm gonna go in and get me some tool. Thanks for coming with on the walk.